The other avenue we have obviously is overseas, and that's really what's put us on the
map, so to speak.
On the map, so to speak. It's been going on for 5 or 6 years now, and we've kind of sat back and watched how others operate, and we do things a little bit differently, and it works for the most part. And I mean, it's easier than, you sell a container of 50 machines, or do you want to sell 50 machines to 50 machines to 50 people? You got 50 customers to deal with over one. But again, there's a lot of competition in that space. Some markets have changed, shifted, so everybody's going to a certain markets. That's as of now. And one thing I kept telling my brother and my other salesmen, I said, we cannot forget about overseas customers. I know it's harder, and I actually know it's less money than what we're doing right now, but we cannot forget about them. And right now, it's paying off. It's paying off. We've had overseas orders. And then now another thing, we're transitioning into casino cities. We're staying out of certain states, certain areas, but some areas where there's a lot of competition, we're coming. That's kind of where we're getting. That's kind of where I'm getting at, and it's been good. I mean, the growth has been steady. We're not perfect at it. We have our ups and downs. So yeah. So that's our, and scrap. Can't forget about scrap.
Yeah, we actually have a guy who started with your dad, right? That still works here.
Still works here. Supposedly he's retiring this year. This will be his 23rd year, 24th year. Supposedly he's retiring this year, so we'll see how that goes.
That's awesome. So Chris, I just have a couple more questions, and basically we're just going to segue out of everything that you just said. But so with the responsibility of being the owner with you and your brother, how do you handle that stress on top of making customers happy, this and that, but also being responsible to your people? And I know that in my time with you is a big thing for you. You've mentioned multiple times that you want to create a workspace that people enjoy coming to work. And
I try to. It's really difficult to run a perfect business. You can't. Jeff Bezos doesn't run a business. You're not going to run a perfect business. You're going to piss off customers. You're going to piss your employees off. But I think at the end of the day, my brother and I have tried to, we're pretty laid back. I'm not a babysitter and I hired to babysit you. I want my salespeople to make money. I want my workers to not worry about if they wake up 15 minutes late, that they're going to get fired. And it's not the best structure for every company. Obviously, if you own a franchise of a McDonald's, you got to have people there at the right time, at the post office or whatever it is. But for this industry, it works. I don't know if other people do that, when there's more flexibility, but just I try to put myself in the worker's shoes. Now, with that being said, some of the conversations we might have, they may not always go by corporate standards either. So, no, that's not a sexual thing or anything like that. I'm saying the way that we approach people, the way we talk to people, our employees. Like, if you want to have a corporate conversation, we're going to have corporate structure, right? So, and I can't do corporate structure because most people in the corporate jobs are fucking miserable. Yeah. Let's be honest. Yeah. Majority, a lot of them are. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that or whatever, but the moral of the story is if you are miserable waking up every day coming to work, A, I don't want you here, and B, if you're working because you need money, then find out a way to do something that you enjoy where you make less money, but you have to figure out your bill situation. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, which I'm sure will be fun to dive into.
Yeah, that'll be a good one to dive into. Well, yeah, but you grew up with money.
So basically just a couple closing points, and really just are hitting it on the head with the whole cadence of how everything's been going. But why do you think you're not serious? And for those people that you've dealt with in the industry that definitely want to hold themselves to a standard or an image, why do you not fit into that mold? And have you found success in it? Do you I know you want
I'm not saying that it's not for everyone. Obviously there's a time to be serious. Obviously there's a time to be professional. And I'm not going around walking into casinos with, a thong and a white beater on, right? I know what to do, but I'm also not going to walk in there with a 4-piece suit, 3-piece suit. Hell, I don't even have one. I'm not going to be somebody I'm not. I'm And I think that's part of some of the problems while they're unhappy, is they got to portray to somebody they're not. I want, even my salespeople, like if you go to casinos, you need to look presentable, but I want you to be who you are. I don't want you to be fake. I don't want you, I don't want you to give a misperception of who you are or what we are. It's laid back, it's worked, it's not perfect. We're not going to get every casino director to like this. We're not going to get every casino person to understand what we do. We're not going to follow every single, protocol. Like, I know we had this discussion with somebody you dealt with. Well, why don't you have part numbers? Well, there's fucking 100,000 parts. You know how impossible that is to keep track of, and how many parts there are, and how it's ever changing.
Yeah.
So no, like, just send us a picture, man. It takes 2 seconds to.
Yeah.
So, and that for the most part, most of the guys are super cool. I joke about it. I'm probably gonna make somebody mad, but if they're super corporate, like, you can't joke around with them, because they're gonna take the job way too serious. Like, you remember the comment I made at the guy at Treasure Island?
Yes.
I'm not gonna repeat the comment.
Yeah.
But I'll say stuff when I have to that's out of place. I don't give a shit if you have a suit on, man. Like, I don't care that you have a suit on. I don't care that you have a fancy title on LinkedIn. It's great. I have a fancy title too. Look at me.
Yeah.
I have a fancy title. It's all a facade.
Yeah.
A lot of it. It's how you conduct business. It's that people believe you, and if you can back it up. Everybody says they run a good business. Everybody says they want to make their customers happy. Everybody says they want their employees to be happy. Everybody says they're on it. Everybody says that, but are they?